the end. A couple of things before we start. If you're under the age of 16, you need to have an adult with you. If you are pregnant, you need to make sure you have something to prop up your head and your shoulders in supine, and you need to do no deep twisting. So today, it's Monday, we're going to do a full body flow. We're going to start off the week with a nice energetic flow. We're going to do a little bit of focus towards balance, which is something that you guys request a lot of and that I am not amazing at. So we're going to wobble around together. So now I need to work on my balance as well. So we're going to aim to come up to the peak pose, dancer pose, which is a really, really lovely pose, really nice balancing pose. So that's what we're going to work towards. As always, do as much or as little of the class as you would like. This is an all levels class, so I'm going to try and offer you guys some different options. But if anything doesn't feel right, just take a break, have a drink of water, pause, and rejoin us when you're ready. And remember that yoga is just so much more than your physical practice. So if your yoga today looks like you lying down on the mat, just closing your eyes for the next 45 minutes, then by all means be my guest. So if you have any injuries, any aches or pains, any ailments, anything that's causing you any sort of distress, just being extra mindful of those areas. So obviously I'm not there to make sure you're okay, but you just want to tune into those areas and just make sure you're not putting extra pressure on them. At the end of the day, no one knows their body like you. If it feels wrong, that generally means it is. So just take a break if anything starts to hurt. So on that note, we're going to bring ourselves into our Sukhasana, our easy pose. So that is a cross-legged position. Plant your sit bones, palms on your knees. If at any point cross-legged is a little bit uncomfortable for you, you can take a cushion or a block to put underneath your sit bones, or you can sit in any seated position really. It doesn't have to be cross-legged. We're just finding a comfortable seat to begin with to get us nice and grounded and ready for the class. So wherever feels comfortable for you. Palms on your knees. Drop those shoulders down, close your eyes, neck is nice and long. Let's take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. So in smooth inhale and smooth exhale, make them evenly paced. And as you inhale, you're filling your lungs, expanding your abdomen. And as you exhale, you're reversing that breath, pulling the navel in. So starting to deepen our breath, and as we tune into our breath and our body, we're going to tune out our surroundings, filtering anything not serving us in this moment. So when we activate this conscious breathing, where we really think about the inhale and the exhale, we step away from that intuitive breath that just happens in the background of our lives and keeps us going. When we start breathing consciously, we activate the cerebral cortex, which is the evolved part of the brain. And that's what gives us this feeling of being really calm and relaxed when we really deepen the breath and breathe consciously. It pulls us into the now, so we forget everything we did before or need to do after and just focus on your breath. Start to pull the shoulders down, allow your neck to lengthen and soften your facial features. Pulling the tongue away from the roof of the mouth and unclenching the teeth, unlocking your jaw. And try and keep those areas soft and unlocked throughout the class. We're going to bring ourselves back to a little bit of mobilization. So we're going to start with our head. We're just going to start to roll that head from shoulder to shoulder, little half moons. And if you want to, you can turn that into a full head roll, just starting to get into the neck. Send it both ways. And bring yourself back to center, bring yourself to your shoulders. Start to roll those shoulders up to your ears, down your spine, like you're drawing circles on the wall behind you. And again, this doesn't have to be a regimented movement. It can be a kind of freestyle. So you can do one shoulder and then the other, and you can take it into your body now as well. So if you want to start moving that spine around, wiggling all over the place, starting just to get a little bit of mobilization in the body. We want to get those fluids flowing. Let's just start to move around so you can circle that body, use the shoulders, use the spine. You can pick those hips up off the mat as you move around, just getting that little bit of looseness. And then gently bring yourself back to center and drop a left hand in line with your left hip. Reach the right arm up and over. Right fingers trying to reach towards the left side of the room. Keep your neck long and your shoulders down. You can drop down onto your left forearm if you want to, but make sure that those bum cheeks stay glued to the mat. Push into that right hip and reach those right fingers all the way across. So you're getting a nice lateral stretch. That means you're stretching down the side of your body. So we're trying not to fold forward or fold back. It's not a back bend or a forward fold. We're stretching the side of our body. So we're still getting into our spine, but laterally. Take a breath and then walk those hands all the way around to the other side. The right hand in line with the right hip and the left arm comes up and over. Reaching those left fingers all the way across. Dropping down onto that right forearm, deep breath, push into the left hip, lengthen. Imagine someone's pulling on those left fingers, deep inhale. And exhale. Gently bring yourself back to center. And you're just going to take a seated spinal twist. We're going to drop our left hand behind us like a secondary spine. Right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. Take a deep breath. As you inhale, we lengthen. As you exhale, push against that left knee and start to gaze behind you. So we're twisting through the spine. So when we do this, we're compressing our organs, releasing toxins. So twists are detoxifying. So when we release the twist, we're allowing fresh blood to run through the body. Take a deep inhale here, and as you exhale, gently bring yourself back to center. Right hand behind you like a secondary spine, and left hand to the outside of the right knee. Sit tall as you inhale and drop the shoulders. Exhale to push against that left knee, twisting through the spine. Start to look all the way behind you. So using that back arm as a support post, not a leaning post. Deep breath, inhale. And as you exhale, gently bring yourself back to center. Drop the hands in front, untuck the legs, bring yourself into that all fours position on the mat. Spread the fingers wide, and you're just gonna cup the palms slightly so your palms are not completely flat on the mat. That way we're not ramming into our wrists. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Stacking those joints, straighten the spine to begin with and gently engage the core. We're just going to breathe here. Inhale. And exhale. And if you want to, you can tuck those toes as well. It depends which feels better for you. Flat, tops of the feet flat or toes tucked. And as you breathe here, I want you to feel that energy between your palms, your knees and the tops of your feet. Inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, drop the navel towards the floor, gaze up to the sky, hollowing out your lower back. Exhale to drop the crown of the head towards the floor. Inhale. And exhale. So this is your cat-cow, and it is mobilizing your spine. So if you want to, you can continue here with that up-down movement, getting into your spine, your shoulders. It's good for lower back pain, good for anxiety, good to calm you down. If you want to, you can freestyle this movement. So you can take it away from that cat-cow and just start to get your wiggle on. So you guys know the drill by now. If you've taken my class even once before, you'll know what to do. Just start to move around, really allow your body to start to loosen, push into all the corners, all the nooks and crannies, the areas that really need to be woken up. We just want to get those fluids flowing. So maybe you just want to wiggle around, maybe you have a specific body part that you feel is particularly tight, you want to stretch it, so fronts of The backs of the arms is a good one, by turning your hands around. Or maybe you want to drop into a cobra and just release your lower back. Maybe you want to push yourself back into your balasana, your child's pose. Whatever you're doing, really use this breath and use this time to push into all those corners, to let go, to really connect your breath to your movement. So as I say every day, this is a lovely thing to do if you have a day where you just don't have the time or the energy to do a full class. So just this little bit of connecting breath to movement, of kind of wiggling around. Sometimes that's all our body needs, that little bit of movement. So you can do it first thing in the morning before you go to bed at night. So it can wake you up in the morning. And if you're like me and you have quite a lot of nervous energy, it's a nice thing to just add a little bit of movement into your routine before you go to bed, just to get that energy out of the way. So yeah, it's a lovely thing to do if you just don't have the time to do a full class. So keeping that wiggle going, you're going to gently start to bring yourself back into your all fours position. So again, tops of the feet can be on the mat or you can tuck them under. Reach that right arm out in front, fingers reaching towards the left side of the room. Take a deep breath and you're going to circle that right arm all the way around, following your fingers with your gaze. As you come to the bottom, you're going to stroke the hand along the mat, reach it all the way out in front and then drop down onto your left forearm into a kind of half extended puppy. Pulling your chest down. Don't let that right elbow touch the mat. Gazing straight ahead. Feel it in your shoulders, pull the navel in. So again, you can have feet tucked under if you want to. Deep breath here. As you exhale, gently draw the arm back slightly. Take the left arm and post it underneath the right armpit, rolling onto that left shoulder. If you want to, you can stay here. If you want to add a little something to the stretch, let's reach that right leg parallel with the left arm. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale. And gently now bringing yourself back to center. You're going to bring yourself back into an all fours position and take that right leg out behind you, pointing the toe. Drop the right foot to the mat. Draw a straight line with that right foot so it comes in line with the left leg and reach that right arm up and almost behind you, like you're trying to pull that right arm out of the way. Give yourself a little bend in the back. So you're giving yourself a little extension through the spine. Deep breath, inhale. As you exhale, back into your all fours position. Bend the right knee, flex the right foot and lift that leg out behind you. We're going to stir our hips. So start to draw circles with that knee. We go for 1, 2, you can get your spine involved here as well. 3, 4, and 5, back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Really nice. Plant that foot. Lovely. Bring yourself back into that all fours position. Left arm's going to come straight out in front. Point the fingers. We're going to circle that left arm all the way around, following your fingers with your gaze. Big circle like a windmill. Stroke the left hand along the mat, reaching the left hand out in front and dropping down onto your right forearm, half extended puppy, gazing straight ahead. Trying to pull your chest lower without the elbow on the left hand touching the mat. Navel in, deep breath. As you exhale, gently pull that left arm in slightly, take the right hand and post it underneath that left arm. So we're rolling onto your right shoulder now. Again, if you want to, you can stay here. If you want to add a little something, straighten that left leg out in line so it's parallel with your right arm. The deeper you roll onto that right shoulder, the more of a stretch you're going to get through the shoulder girdle. So putting that right hand all the way underneath that left arm. Let's go for 1 more deep breath here. And as you exhale, gently bring yourself back into that all fours position. Take that left leg out behind you, pointing the toe. Drop the foot to the mat and draw a straight line with that left foot. Bring it in line with the right. Reach your left arm up and behind you, so you're giving yourself that little extension through the spine, almost like we're coming into wild thing pose. So this is a good Preparation for wild thing. Reach back with that left hand. And then gently drop yourself back into that all fours position, lifting that left leg out behind you, bend the knee and flex the foot. Let's stir our hips. So we're going to circle here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. And 5. Lovely. Back to your all fours position. Tuck those toes and push up into a downward facing dog. So, shoulders away from the ears and externally rotated, dropping the head between your arms, navel in towards the spine, and you want a nice straight back. So if to achieve a straight back you need to bend your knees, absolutely do that. It's much better to have bent knees and a straight spine than straight legs and a curve in the back. That's not what we want. Drawing the heels towards the mat, but they absolutely do not need to meet the mat. Again, it's much more important that you have a straight back. Then heels on the floor. Take a breath here. We're going to roll onto our balls of our feet. Lift the heels like we're standing on tippy toes. And exhale, we lower. Inhale, we lift onto our heels. Onto our balls of our feet. Exhale, we lower. Inhale to lift. So this is really good for stretching out the backs of the legs, the calves, the hamstrings. You get tight in that area, which seems to be quite common. Lifting and lowering. And let's go for one more here. We lift. And we lower. Take a deep breath. Roll yourself all the way forward into a high plank position. Core engaged, body in a straight line. Drop the knees towards the mat. Send the bum back towards the heels. And then push yourself back up into your downward dog. So kind of like a little circle. We go plank, knees hovering, bum back, down dog. Let's do that 3 times. Plank, knees, bum and down dog. And plank, knees, bum and down dog. Last one, knees, bum and down dog. Take a deep breath. Send that right leg all the way up towards the sky. 3-legged dog. Bending that right knee and gazing underneath your right armpit. You can stay here, or you can walk the whole way over and take your wild thing pose. Wherever you are, we're going to hold for 3, 2, and 1. Wild things. Back into that 3-legged dog. And from there, we're going to send that right knee in towards the chest. Plant the right foot. Drop that back knee, your left knee, down onto the mat. So again, preference, if you want the top of the foot on the mat, lovely, or you can tuck that toe under. If you've got quite sensitive knees, that can be a little bit intense. Reach those arms up in line with your ears. Low lunge, runner's lunge. So we're stretching our hip flexors. We're strengthening our quads. That's the front of our thighs, and our hamstrings, which is the back. Hold here. Take a breath and you're going to split the arms. So if you want to, you can send the left arm forward and the right arm back. So we're giving ourselves a little twist. If you want to go further, you can drop that right hand onto the left calf and reach that left arm up and over. We hold here for 3, 2, and 1, and then circle those hands back around on either side of that front foot. Bending that back knee, straighten the front leg, and pull the right toes in towards the calf. So hips squared to the front, and you want to feel that stretch through the hamstrings. So try not to dump all of your weight onto your right side. You want to try and keep yourself nice and level. Keep the spine straight and lower your torso towards your thigh rather than your head towards your shin. And what I mean by that is you want to keep the spine straight. So you'll notice that if you send your head towards your shin, you're going to kind of become a hunchback of Notre Dame. Whereas if you want to put your torso on your thigh, your spine is going to stay straight to try and achieve that. That's what we want to do. Take a breath here. On your exhale, you're going to bend that right leg. Bring yourself back into the low lunge. Frame the front foot. Tuck that left toe under and bring yourself up into a half lunge. Take a deep inhale and you're going to kick that left leg up behind you. Bringing yourself into a standing split. So we're trying to draw our torso towards our thigh. So this is active stretching, which means there's no force helping our leg get up there. We haven't got a hand or a strap. We are sending that leg up there all by itself. Deep breath here, inhale. And exhale. Start to lower that left leg so it's in line with your hips. Take a deep breath here. Reach your right hand so it's in front of your right foot. We're going to start to get into a couple of balancing stretches here. So you can either stay here or you can start to reach that left arm up and bring yourself into your half moon. You can also try and reach behind you and take hold of your foot if that is in your practice. Wherever you are, we hold for 3, 2, and 1. Drop that left foot back behind you. Reach the arms up towards the sky and you're going to bring yourself into your high lunge. Gorgeous, everybody. Inhale. And exhale, send that left arm down the back of the left leg, turn the left foot out and reach the right arm up and over, reversing your warrior. So I'm just going to switch sides. So remember, this is a lateral stretch down the right side of the body, not a back bend. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, drop that right forearm onto your right thigh and reach the left arm up and over, extended side angle. So you can stay here. Remember to keep the chest open. Try not to put too much weight on that arm. We're not hanging out at the pub. We want to keep ourselves nice and aligned. You can also come into a triangle pose here, so opening both arms. If you feel like you want a little more, take your bind, right hand underneath the right leg and left arm up and over. Try and open your chest to the side if you're going to do that. And if you want to go a little further, if balancing is what you would like, we're going to take that left leg. We're going to step the left leg forward, keeping our bind. Start to straighten the left. And as you do, you're going to lift your bound right leg. Find a still spot to be looking at. If you bring yourself up to standing, you can try to straighten that leg out. But remember to leave enough time in your balance to be able to step out the exact way you came in, back into the bind. And everybody here, we are going to take our hands to the mat, walk them on either side of that front foot, planting the palms, step back into a high plank position. You can either push straight back up into your downward dog, or tuck your elbows in and come down through chaturanga. Push forward, upward facing, and push back. Downward facing dog. Lovely, everybody. Let's take, I'm just going to switch sides again. For some reason, I find it much easier to talk to you guys from this side. So from your downward dog, we're going to take that left leg all the way up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Bend the left knee, gazing underneath that left armpit. So you can stay here, opening your hips, or you can walk the whole way over, bringing yourself into your wild thing pose. And wherever you are, we're going to hold for 3, 2, and 1. Wild things, bring yourself back into that three-legged dog. Everybody now, we're going to take that left knee in towards the chest. Plant the left foot. Drop that right knee and tuck the right foot, or you can keep it tucked if you want to. And reach those arms up in line with your ears. Low lunge. So, hips squared to the front, getting into our hip flexors, getting into our quads, our hamstrings, strengthening those areas. You can stay here, or you can split the arms. The right arm comes forward, the left arm goes back. You can drop, if you want to, that left hand onto the right thigh, onto the right calf, sorry. And reach that right arm back. Wherever you are, we hold for 3, 2, and 1. Circle those arms around to frame the front foot. Bend the right knee, straighten the left leg, and pull those left toes in towards the shins. Hips squared to the front, and remember, we want to glue our torso to the thigh, not our head to the shin. So keeping that spine flat as you bring yourself forward. Deep breath. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Really feeling that nice juicy stretch through the hamstring. Give me one more breath here. And then you're going to plant that left foot. Frame the front foot. Tuck your toes under, lift that back leg, take a breath. And you're going to bring yourself up into a standing split on the left side. So if your standing split looks kind of like an L shape, don't worry. So if you guys can see, on this side, my standing split is more like an L shape, whereas on the other side, it was much more open. So it's really common to have one side that's maybe a little bit more flexible. So we're going to hold here. Breathe as you draw your torso towards your thigh. Try your hardest not to look out the knee. I know that's really difficult. And then you're going to bring that right leg level with your hip. Drop the left hand in front of your left foot. You can hold here, or you can start to reach that right arm up and bring yourself into your crescent moon. If you want to, you can reach back and take hold of your foot wherever you are. We're going to 3, 2, and 1. Step the right leg back. Reach the arms up in line with the ears. High lunge. So hips under shoulders, knee above ankle. This is good for balance, good for nice healthy knees. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, we turn the right foot out. The right arm comes down the back of the right leg. Left arm comes up and over, and we're going to stretch through the side of our body. Remember, it's not a back bend. Deep inhale, and on your exhale, left forearm to your left thigh, the right arm comes up and over, extended side angle, chest lifted, so we're not slouching. Deep breath here. You can stay here, or you can bring yourself into your triangle pose, opening those arms, stacking the shoulders, wrist to wrist in a straight line, gazing up at those right fingers. If you want more, bring yourself into that bind. So you're going to take the left arm underneath the left leg, the right arm up and over. And then if you want more still, we're going to step that right foot forward. We're going to straighten the right leg, and as we do, we lift our bound left leg. And if you can, or you want to, you can try and straighten the leg when you come to standing. Remember to leave enough space and time in your balance to step all the way back into your bind. And everybody now dropping those hands on either side of that front foot, pushing down with the palms and stepping all the way back into your high plank. You can either push back into your downward facing dog straight away, or you can join me, tuck those elbows in, come down to chaturanga. Push forward, upward facing, and push back. Downward facing dog. Gaze straight ahead. And you're going to start to walk those feet towards your hands. Bring yourself into your Uttanasana, your forward fold. So, for your forward fold, what I want you guys to do is soften your knees and keep the spine straight. So kind of like in all the poses, it's much better to have bent knees and a straight back than the other way around. So you'll notice that if your legs are straight, what we're probably doing is locking the knees, which is the first thing that's not particularly great for our bodies. And then the second is that we're probably doing this. So we're kind of hanging forward like a rag doll. We're curving the spine, which is not great for our lower back, not great for our hips, not great for our hamstrings. So let's soften our knees, give them a little bend, keep the spine straight, and start to glue that torso forward onto your thighs. When you bring yourself forward, I want you to tuck the hands underneath the feet and drop the crown of the head towards the floor. Deep breath here. We're stretching through our shoulders, lengthening our spine, getting into our hamstrings. And exhale. On your next inhale, untuck the hands. Start to roll up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Unraveling like a chain link, we're bringing ourselves up to standing. Drop the shoulders. Stand nice and tall. Take a deep breath here. So we're stacking our joints. We want to bring ourselves into that nice neutral body in our mountain, our Tadasana. So feet are facing the front. Ankles under knees, under hips, under shoulders. So the body is stacked. Sounds really obvious, but you'd be surprised how many of us kind of stick our bums out and curve our lower back, or maybe we stick our bums in and create a shelf with our hips. So we want to bring ourselves to that nice neutral body. The pelvis wants to be neutral. The pelvis is like the cauldron of your body. So always visualize your pelvis as a glass of water. So if we're sticking our bums out, we're spilling water down the front of our body. If we're tucking our bums in, we're spilling water down the back. So find that nice neutral pelvis, spilling no water, arms down by your side. Engage the legs isometrically, and as you inhale, reach the arms towards the sky, drawing your palms together, extended mountain pose. As you exhale, pull the arms out to the side. Soften the knees and hinge at the hips, drop forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale into your flat back, Supta Uttanasana, half fold. And exhale. Bring yourself all the way forward. Crown of the head towards the floor. Plant your palms, step back into your high plank position. Take a deep breath here and either push straight back into your downward dog or tuck your elbows in, come down through your chaturanga. Push forward, upward facing, and push back. Downward facing dog. So we're going to do this little sequence a couple of times. Gaze straight ahead, step, float, or jump between your hands. And raise your arms up towards the sky, drawing the palms together at your heart center. Bring yourself back into that nice neutral stacked position. Inhale, we raise the arms up, draw the palms together. Exhale, we pull the arms apart, hinge at the hips, soften the knees, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half fold, gaze straight ahead, flatten the back. Exhale, back to your forward fold with soft knees. Place the palms flat, step, float, or jump back into a high plank position. Either straight into your downward dog or tuck the elbows. Come down through your chaturanga. Push forward, upward facing dog, and push back. Downward facing. Let's do that again. Gaze straight ahead, step, float, or jump between the hands, and raise the arms up towards the sky. Drawing the palms down through toward your heart center. And one more time, inhale, reaching towards the sky. Exhale to hinge at the hips, soften the knees, Uttanasana. And inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half fold, gaze straight ahead. Exhale, back to your forward fold, palms flat, step, float, or jump back into a high plank. And either straight back into your downward dog, or tuck the elbows in, come down through chaturanga. Push forward, upward facing dog, and push back. Downward facing, so you should be feeling quite warm now. Gaze straight ahead, and I want you to step between the hands, and just soften the knees, and then hold onto your elbows, and give yourself a little sway here in your ragdoll. So we're just going to recenter ourselves. Maybe give your knees a little bend, a little bit of movement, just let yourself kind of hang loose. You can let go of the arms if you want to. And then gently you're going to unravel, bringing yourself up to standing, unraveling like a chain link. Dropping those shoulders, bring yourself back to a nice strong standing position. So we're going to do our dancer's pose as our peak pose. So we've done the class, we've done a little bit of balancing, we've done a little bit of movement, we've stretched the hamstrings, we've stretched the spine. So we're going to come into our peak pose, which is our dancer's pose. And I'm going to talk you through it. So we're all going to be at different stages for this pose. It's a balance pose. It's also a back bend. It's really, really lovely pose, but it is, it's a bit of a tricky one. So it will take a little bit of time to get. So what we're going to do is you're going to bring yourself into that nice neutral standing position. And I just want you to take your right hand and kind of cup the right hand at your side. Then you're going to lift that right leg. And you're going to try and take hold of that right foot. Reach the left arm up towards the sky. And on your inhale, you're going to start to gently lower yourself down. So we're starting to lean forward. And we're going to stretch that right leg out behind us. So wherever you come to, and you can also do this with the wall. So if that works better for you, by all means practice on the wall. That's a good place to get your balance up. So you can bring your left hand straight to the wall. You can bring yourself about arm width away from the wall. Take your right foot out behind you and start to lower yourself down that way. Try and make sure that you're keeping your hips level. And you can also try different variations as well. So one variation might be that you want to take your foot into your elbow crease and bind your hands. That's a nice one to do, so kind of like a pigeon pose for people that are feeling a little bit bendy, for people that are really confident with their balances. So give it a couple of goes. You can also cup your hands both ways, so if you feel like it's better to cup your hand and take hold of the inside of the foot rather than the outside, then please try that as well. So just to talk through again, hand at your side, lift the right leg, cup that right foot, inhale, the left arm goes up unless you are practicing with the wall, and as you exhale, you're going to start to lower your chest down towards the earth. We want to drop our heart downwards. So give it a couple of goes, and then when you are ready, we're going to bring ourselves back to center. Give yourself a little shake out. Shake, 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 shake. Lovely. And then bring yourself back to standing. We're going to work into the other side. So you'll find as well, one side will be more flexible, one side will be better at balancing. So you might have a side that you balance on better, but it might not necessarily mean that the other leg is your flexible side. So this will start to work on your balance and your flexibility on both sides, which is obviously really good. So we're going to bring ourselves back to center, realign, and then bring your left arm down by your side, making a little cup with your hand. You're going to bend the left knee and take hold of that left foot with your hand. Deep inhale, we raise the right arm up towards the sky. And as you exhale, you're going to start to hinge forward, drawing that right arm out in front, dropping the heart low. And hold here for as long as you can. The aim is that we want to be able to bring ourselves back out the way that we came in. And again, option to use the wall, so bringing yourself arm length away from the wall, hand flat. You're still going to want to bring that foot up the way that you would if we were still balancing without the wall. Lean forward, drop your heart low. Bringing that left leg out behind you. And again, there are the options. So if you want to, you can take that left foot in an elbow crease and take a bind. Really lovely, everyone. Give all of them a couple of give them a couple of goes, whichever version you're doing. I also find that doing dancer's pose in the wall is a really nice way of also getting in a little bit of practice towards splits. It's sometimes called needle scaling, so it's kind of working towards your standing split. That's a really good one if you are interested in that. It's good for working flexibility into your hamstrings, your hips, your spine. It's a really lovely one for obviously working on your balance. So when you are done with your dancer's pose, we're going to bring ourselves back to the tops of our mats. Give yourself a little kind of shake out, a little move around. I always like to do that after a balance pose because I feel like you put so much weight on one leg. Take a breath. Inhale, we reach our arms up towards the sky. Exhale to hinge forward at the hips. Soften the knees, drop forward. Uttanasana. Half fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Gaze straight ahead, flatten the back. Exhale to drop the palms, step float or jump back into a high plank and either pushing straight up into your downward dog or tuck the elbows in, come down to Chaturanga. Push forward, upward facing and push back. Downward facing dog. Gazing straight ahead, slight bend in the knees, step float or jump between the hands into a seated position on your mats. Bring your feet together like palms, time for my favorite pose. Baddha Konasana, your bound angle pose. You're going to start to push the knees apart and you're trying to draw them down towards the floor. So we're opening our hips, hands around your big toes, and you try and draw your heels as far into your pelvis as you can. and drop those knees nice and open. Inhale to lengthen, exhale. So we're giving ourselves that nice wide open feeling. So this pose has a lot of benefits. It increases blood flow to the pelvic floor. It's a really gentle hip opener. Ladies, for you guys, this pose is good for relieving menstrual cramps. If you do it regularly throughout your pregnancy, it can help easing the pain of childbirth, which is obviously great. But it's a really, really nice little pose. And you can add a forward fold here as well if you want to. So to do that, you want to maybe push your feet forward slightly. Take your elbows onto your knees and start to hinge forward. So bring your elbows, you probably want to bring your elbows onto your thighs rather than your knees and start to push those thighs down, hinging at the hips and gazing straight ahead, still keeping that spine flat. So we are still hinging at the hips. We are not curving. So we're not dropping the crown of the head towards the floor. We're dropping the torso, the chest towards the feet. Really nice. Deep breath. Inhale. And as you exhale, gently, slowly unravel through the spine. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Point your toes, engaging your legs. Drop your hands underneath the small of your back. Bring yourself onto your forearms. Push that chest up towards the sky and let the head roll the whole way back. Deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. Pointing those toes, legs engaged. Inhale. And exhale. You're going to feel this in your chest, your neck, your shoulders, your spine. You're going to feel it in your legs because they're nice and engaged as you point the toes, lifting the knees. Inhale. And as you exhale, gently melt yourself down into the mat. Bring your arms out on either side. Hug your knees in towards you and gently just rock from side to side. Up and asana, releasing your spine on the mat. Maybe you want to draw little circles with your back. Keeping that breath flowing. Drop your knees over to the left, making sure your knees are slightly higher than your pelvis. Reaching your right arm out and gazing down those right fingertips. Giving yourself that little supine twist, so nice way to release tension. Good way to end a class with a nice little spinal twist. Inhale. And as you exhale, draw the legs across to the right, gaze to the left. Deep breath. And exhale. And then gently bring yourself back to center. Hugging the knees towards you again. Give yourself that one more little asana to release the spine. And then you're going to drop your feet together like palms and opening the knees, just dropping the knees apart. So our Supta Baddha Konasana, our reclined bound angle. If you want to, you can take something to put underneath the small of your back, like a cushion or a rolled up blanket. Take your hands to your inner thighs and gently start to push them apart. And just breathe into that hip opening. You can also make a heart shape out of your fingers and thumbs and place that on your pelvis. So what we're going to do here, we are just gently opening the hips in our Supta Baddha Konasana like we were in our upright Baddha Konasana. And we're just going to bring ourselves ready for our Shavasana. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to practice a little bit of breath retention, which is called Kumbhaka breath. And the aim of this is just to calm us down. It's just to kind of chill us out. It's a nice thing to do at the end of the class or before you go to bed. So what we do is we inhale, then we exhale, then we hold, all for the same amount of time. So if you were maybe wanting to do this at the beginning of the class or at the beginning of your day or to energize, you would inhale, pause, exhale. But we want to calm ourselves down, ready for our Shavasana. So what we're going to do, we're going to inhale for 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. You can continue this breath if you would like, or you can bring yourself back to your yogic breath, your conscious breathing. Inhale and exhale. And in your own time, you're going to start to straighten out, just stretch that body out, ready for your Shavasana. So if you need anything now for your relaxation, maybe you want to dim the lights, pop some music on, grab a drink of water, grab cushions, grab blankets, grab socks, grab jumpers, whatever you want. And as always, if you don't want to stay for Shavasana, that's absolutely fine. I know it's not in some people's practice, but please don't think of it as meditation, because I know that can be quite daunting. Think of it as just time for yourself, relaxation, a few minutes to just let go. I'm going to talk you through actively releasing parts of your body. So it's just a nice couple of minutes where you can just chill out and do nothing. So when you're ready, bring yourself down onto your mat, close your eyes, allow those palms to fall open and the feet fall open. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose and exhale. And bring yourself back to where you were at the beginning of the class. So we're tuning into our breath and tuning out our surroundings. Focusing in on that slow and steady rise and fall. And take your attention down towards your feet, seeing them fall open on the mat. Ankles, calves, knees and thighs lightweight. All the way up to the base of your spine and feeling each vertebrae unravel one by one. Melting down into the mat. Arms lightweight at your side, palms open and fingers unraveled. Start to drop the shoulders down away from the ears, pulling them down your spine, allowing your neck to grow long. Facial features soft and gentle. Head light. Unlock your jaw, unclench your back teeth, and drop the tongue down away from the roof of the mouth. Finally, bring your attention to your chest and your abdomen. That slow and steady rise and fall of your breath. That gentle rhythm. Just take these moments, just let go and sink into the earth as you inhale and exhale. Start to wiggle the fingers and the toes to draw awareness back into your body. Hug the knees in towards your chest and gently rock from side to side, bringing yourself all the way over onto the right hand side. Place your palms in front of you and start to lift your body, allowing your head to be the last thing to come off the mat as you bring yourself up to seated. Pulling those shoulders down away from the ears and lengthening through the neck. Let's take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. And again, inhale. And as you exhale, I want you to let out a deep sigh, like you're letting everything go. And again, once more for luck, inhale. And draw your palms together at your heart center. Thank you all so much for practicing with me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your Monday. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Oh, where was that thing that I was just looking at? Thank you all so much, guys. Have a think about what you want to do for this week's classes and let me know anything that you want to go over, anything that, you know, you would like to try. Yeah, let me know. Yes, so the more you practice balance, so balance is the first thing that our body forgets, but it's also the first thing it remembers. So I tend to not balance for ages, and then when I try it, I'm like, oh God, I'm just falling out of it. But the more we do it, obviously, the better it's going to be, and your body will start to remember it more. So I'm going to try and add it into the classes more regularly, because when it goes well, it's so satisfying to do a good balancing pose. Okay, guys. No, this is so this is my class, so it's every single night except Friday and then Sunday mornings as well. Knees and ankles, yes. We will do, so we're definitely going to do something with knees and ankles and something aimed towards cyclists. And we're going to work into wrists as well. I just need to plan exactly how we're going to do it. So we are going to do that this week. Okay, guys, I am going to log off. So hopefully see you all tomorrow.